Hi, I'm Steven, the calculator guy, and I'm in Las Vegas, which is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys can see anything out that window. You can't because it's so shiny, but there's stuff out there, and it's Vegasy. So, being in Vegas, I decided to do what anyone in my position would do. I made a calculator. So, uh, what does the calculator do? Well, I call this the borrow lend calculator, and effectively what it does is it allows you to calculate what would happen if you collateralize an asset, either a stablecoin or a non-stablecoin, and then borrow against it and get a yield on that borrow. Right now, why would you do this? Well, with stablecoins, the answer is pretty simple. If you collateralize a stablecoin and borrow an asset against it, you're not exposed to the volatility of the asset you borrowed. For example, let's say you collateralize $1,000 and you borrow $500 of Ethereum. So I don't know how much Ethereum that would be. Let's say a Phantom. Phantom's way easier because it's pretty much $1. So you collateralize $1,000 USDC. You borrow 500 Phantom, which is roughly $500. Now let's say Phantom goes down by 50%, right? Now that 500 Phantom is only worth $250. Well, good news. You only have to pay back 500 Phantom. You don't have to pay back $500 of Phantom. So you take that $250 of Phantom you had and you pay it back and you take out your $1,000 of collateral. You still have the exact same initial, that $1,000. So let's notch that up a notch, as one might say. Let's say you collateralize that $1,000 of stables, you borrow that $500 of Phantom, and then you get a really juicy yield on that Phantom. So now you increase your 500 Phantom to 600 Phantom, you return that 500 Phantom, and you sell that 100 Phantom that you got, and that's 100% profit now. Not 100% like APY profit. All of the Phantom that you generated, all of that yield is yours to keep. So let's talk about this as an actual example, right? Okay, so I'm going to walk through it, and then I'm going to show you. So first, you deposit some sort of stablecoin. We're going to use USDT here. You deposit $1,000, right? Actually, that's $10,000. The lend APY is your yield on your collateral. When you collateralize an asset, generally you're paid by the platform to do that. In this case, we're using Geist because Geist is on the Phantom blockchain, and they pay you 2.5% APY. Okay, so next we're going to borrow Phantom. We're going to borrow 3,000, right? Because we want a low LTV. We really want to be risk off. We want to sort of have this be a lower maintenance play. Borrow APY. It costs 11% per year to borrow Phantom. So do keep that in mind. 11%, you're going to have to pay that back over a year. And then the Phantom price is $1.4 right now, which means the value of your borrowed Phantom is 3,100 roughly. Your initial LTV is 31.2%, right? Liquidation on Geist is 65%, so we have a lot of room to go, right? Phantom would effectively have to double in price overnight for us to miss that and get liquidated. Very unlikely, because with these bluer chips, right, with these coin tokens like AVAX, Phantom, Ethereum, etc., the risk of them doubling is low because the market caps are already pretty high for these tokens. Okay, and then the yield on Phantom, I'm saying 330%, and I'll show you where I'm getting that from. I know that's high, but I'll show you where I'm getting that from. Okay, cool. So we're there. Now let's talk the future. So this calculator allows you to put a number of days out, right? So in 50 days, you will have $10,034 in USDT simply because of this lend, right? This 2.5%. Now, in the future, your loan value will be $3,045 for two reasons, right? Because the Phantom has gone down in price, and because you're the borrow APY. So the future Phantom value is actually like this. Phantom value just means the price times the amount of Phantom, right? That's it. Now the future loan value means the price, future price times the amount of Phantom plus the interest you have to pay back. So that's why that's why it's that much money. Future LTV, 30.35%. Okay, cool. It went down. No big deal. It's actually better for us. It's a healthier loan. Okay, so now the yield, right? Yield. as USDT. Oh, actually, one of these should say yield as Phantom. I'll correct that. But effectively, yield as USDT. So because of this really high Phantom yield, you've gained over 50 days $1,300, which is really good, right? That's almost, what is that? That's almost 13% in 50 days. Really good, right? Yeah, it is exactly 13%. For ROI as Phantom is even higher because that yield, if you were to use it as USD value, would be 17% of your initial. Okay, cool. So let's exit all that and sort of talk about this. Now, it's a 95% annualized yield on USDT using this strategy, given that Phantom Tomb can go on forever. Why am I saying Phantom Tomb? Because that's clearly what you would be using to get a 300% APY on Phantom. So let's look at that, right? First, if you don't know what Tomb is a algo stable for Phantom, which means it's pegged 1-to-1 with Phantom roughly. You can see it's sort of deviated a bit from that, but since December, it's been roughly around 1, right? So plus or minus 10% more or less, right? Plus or minus 10%. And that's pretty good, right? For since December, so what are we on? That's 5 months, plus or minus almost 6 months, plus or minus 5%, 10%. That's not bad. So anyways, Tomb is roughly pegged to Phantom, so getting a yield on that is more or less getting a yield on Phantom. So go over to Alpaca, which is one of my new favorite protocols, mostly because of their vaults, which I'm really interested in. Their auto vault. You can see Tomb Phantom 331%. Hey, this is leveraged, right? But because it's Phantom and Tomb and they're pegged to each other, leverage shouldn't really be an issue because the risk of liquidation is really low. And this is only 4x leverage. You could probably leverage this up even more, to be honest. But you can't because they won't let you. 4 is the max. You can't farm right now? Opening a new position temporary table due to a price divergence between, oh man. Yeah, so probably if you wanted to do this, you might have to go somewhere like Taro. So maybe we're not going to get that nice 300. Maybe we're going to get a lower yield. Taro is another leverage farm. So a leverage yield farm. Really nice. Now also available in the US, which is cool. So we'll wait for them to load. The internet here is kind of fast. That's nice. We're going to look for Tomb. Phantom Tomb. What are we getting? 77%. That's not nearly as nice, but it's not bad. It's better than the 8% we see over in the first block. So is this the only one we're going to get? Phantom Tomb. Yeah. Looks like the best we're gonna get is 77%. So we can check Imprimax as well. That's gonna be a little bit crazy, but Imprimax is kind of inconsistent. But let's just check Imprimax really quickly, just to see if it's any better. Let's go with Phantom. So one thing to know is these yield variations might be kind of crazy. If you want consistent, you can just go straight to Phantom Tomb and get it that way. That's gonna be around 60 to 70%. Not terrible, right? Not bad. Phantom Tomb, negative. We're not going to go with that one, right? We're absolutely not going to go with that one. So we're going to go with, let's actually see what the aggregators are telling us on Beefy. So we're Beefy. Let's go Tomb. Phantom Tomb. We're getting, there's 2 Tomb Phantom LPs. From Moonpot. This must be a newer farm. RPC. I had RPC errors earlier. Just too bad. But here we go. We can just look at this. So 86%. That's pretty good. We'll use 86%. No leverage involved. I would like to use leverage, but I guess I have to wait for Alpaca to come back up. We'll use the 86%. It's going to be lower. But still, 24% on USDT, not bad. And if you want to increase that to 4,000, right, have a higher LTV, you can get 31%. If you want to go crazy with it, a little bit riskier, you can get up to 38% with the 5,000. Okay, so that's pretty much it, right? What is the benefit of this strategy? Your USDT, your stablecoin, it doesn't move. You can take out your collateral simply by paying back your loan, and you're not really at a risk of losing your loan because you're using a stable LP, Phantom Tomb. So you exit your position, Phantom LP, convert it all back to Phantom, go back over, pay off your loan, plus whatever you yielded, at 30, 40% APY for the USDT, and then withdraw your USDT. So that's pretty cool, right? Here is Geist, by the way. So if you just wanted to look through this, my wallet's not connected. Fine. Connect. Markets. So here is what I'm talking about. You would deposit USDT here for 2.3% APY. You would withdraw, or you would borrow Phantom for 11%. You would sell that Phantom 50-50. So keep it Phantom and split it with Tomb. Go LP your Phantom Tomb. Actually, you could probably just zap it in, really. Yeah, you can just zap your wrap Phantom, or you can zap your Phantom in. So you could just get the Phantom, zap it in, and then you're getting 83%. If we look at the one, so on Beefy, you can look at the performance. You can see it's pretty stable over the month. Over the year, we're going to see a large decline because it went down dramatically. But I guess it doesn't have that much data. So since March, it's gone from 240 to 112, 84 now. Okay, so that is strategy number one with the borrow lend. And you can do this with quite a few of these Seigniorage protocols, but you want to make sure it's a blue chip Seigniorage protocol, or that it's a high TVL, or that it's like backed by a stupid amount of money. Tomb is, and also Dark on the Kronos chain. So you can do roughly the same thing. Now remember, it's always safer to short what they call the stable in Seigniorage. So it's always safer to short Tomb than it is to short Phantom. In other words, it's always safer to borrow Tomb if you can rather than borrow Phantom. But I don't know any places where you can borrow Tomb right now. If you do, please leave it in the comments below. There is a place to borrow Dark. That's on Annex. But, Annex is a slightly riskier borrowing lending platform than, say, well, I don't know. What other borrow lending platforms do you have on Kronos chain? There are a few. And we could look at those. But really, all I'm saying is if you can borrow the non-stable, you're going to be doing a little bit better. Because if it goes down or depegs, you only have to pay that back, and it'll be easier. All right, I'm just rambling at this point. Let's look at the non-stable. So non-stable is where you would deposit a non-stable asset like Ethereum, because you love Ethereum, you're long on Ethereum, but you want to get a yield on it, right? So and you want to do better than Lido. Lido is the anchor of Ethereum. So for UST or stablecoins, Anchor is like this consistent, super blue chip yielding platform. We don't really know if it's sustainable. Actually, we know it's not sustainable. It just can't be, unless Do Kwon just forever gives us his money, which is fine. I don't mind it, but it seems unlikely to happen that way. Anyways, Lido is this super blue chip yield generating platform for Ethereum, basically running these nodes for Ethereum 2.0. They give you like 4.4% to 5% of APY. But we want to beat that, right? We want to do better than that. So what do? Well, we deposit our ETH, let's say 10 ETH, which is like $29,000, so high roller here, and we borrow $15,000 of UST against it. Lend APY 4%, borrow APY 4%, or sorry, 3%, 4%. Yield on UST 19.54, 19% roughly. Your initial LTV 51%. Yeah, that's okay, right? We don't mind that. Let's say Ethereum goes down in the future, $2,800. Well, your future ETH amount is going to be higher, right? Because of that lend APY, the APY you get from collateralizing your Ethereum. Your loan value, however, is going to be higher because it's increasing by 4% per year, right? Your loan is increasing, which means you have to pay back more in the future. But you've made $309 on UST over 50 days, right? So you've made $309. Your loan is increased by 80, so really you made like 310, which is pretty good, right? You made 310. So future LTV, this is the yield as Ethereum. So this 390 converted to Ethereum would be 0.14. Anyways, after 50 days, your total as Ethereum value would be 10.15 Ethereum, which is roughly a return on investment of 1.5%, or 11% annually. So 11% annually, it's twice as good as Lido, and it's really not high risk because, well, I don't believe it's that high risk. I can't really tell you if it is or is not high risk because that can get me into a lot of trouble. But you're using Anchor, and maybe you're using like Aave, so you're using the bluest of chip protocols, no real high risk protocols, and you're getting a decent annualized yield. And if you don't want to get off EVMs, if you want to stay on EVMs and not have to go to a TerraStation wallet, okay, cool. Well, you do this on the Avalanche chain, you can stay all on Avalanche. In fact, I know people who are really long on Avalanche, and they use like, what is that, SAVAX? And, you can actually, it's 7% yield on that using, I forget the bank, I don't know, some B protocol. So there you go, and then you can just put the UST right onto Anchor UST, and your annualized APY now is 15%. You doubled your APY, so that's using SAVAX. Of course, SAVAX, a little bit less market cap, a little bit more volatile than Ethereum, but there you go. Okay, that's it. That's my video. Should I give you guys this calculator? Should I make it Patreon only? I'm going to give you guys this calculator. So I will link this calculator down below. Hopefully I'll make a thumbnail for this video somehow. I'm not at my computer, but I can still get GIMP, so we shall see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Join the Patreon if you want to. Join the free part of the Discord if you want to. Or go to the premium Discord through the Patreon. Do what you want to do. Yeah. See you guys soon. I'll be back in where I live tomorrow night, so I expect a pickup of videos starting then.